OCO, everybody. Just figured I'd show y'all what we've been working on this last week and a half. And, most of y'all that follow my channel probably remember me working on all of this little bit right here to give the sheep that we were trying to start keeping a home, and we were hoping to take this acre and start rotational grazing out here. So we needed to do multiple paddocks and fence the whole acre in, because we only had a quarter of it done. So I'm gonna take and show y'all what we've been working on. And for those of y'all that notice right here, I busted myself in the face with a fencing pliers, fencing wrench, something that you use for barbed wire and all that. We were working on the fencing and popped myself right between the eyes with it. This thing right here is what I'm talking about. So everything's fine, nothing's busted, but just figured I'd explain the cut. So here we go. Let me take y'all on this little tour right here and show you what we've been working on. So like I said, this was our original little paddock. We used to have the male pigs in here when it was electric fence. We've taken all the electric fence down, and right now we got Sandy and Sydney in there, a couple little ducks and a couple roosters in there, and they've pretty much done all they can do with this grass right here. Gave them an extra little tent for some extra shade because they like to sit out there. They don't like to come into the house. But yeah, this was the one little paddock that we done. We still got our solar charger up there because the male pigs will eventually move back in here, and I'll stay in this house right here. Got my little herb garden around it. But what we've been working on is extending it out to 4 paddocks instead of just the one. You got it going all the way down and around. Got this gate here. We still got some fence out here because we still got one divider to put in to be done. Got the water holes for the pigs when they come out here. It's a very healthy pasture out here. We've got to put a permanent gate in here. We got this temporary thing that works, but we'll be installing something permanent. And this is all piecemealed together from T-posts that we've gotten off of Facebook Marketplace and from friends and family and stuff. Fencing likewise. Just because, I mean, people think that T-posts are gold nowadays, but we got it all thrown together, looking good. Got this nice big old 12-foot fence, or 12-foot gate right here. Hung up here. We're gonna have an 8-foot gate go between here, and that's all we got left is from this post here to that post there. Run that fence. I went ahead, dug another water hole there, another water hole there. Those of you that know pigs, you put pigs out here, or even geese or ducks, they'll go ahead and waterproof the hole for you. I'm gonna slip in a little bit of footage of me digging those right here, and then we'll go from there. So while you guys are sitting there watching me dig in high speed, I figured I'd give you a little voiceover instead of having y'all listen to the tractor just whining, amped up on a time lapse. But yeah, just letting y'all see me do a little bit with the borrowed backhoe. Friend of the family has it, and he don't use it very often, so it comes in handy, letting us borrow his equipment and get stuff done on the farm. And yeah, I didn't do all of the work on the fence. Teresa helped a ton, and the kids helped out a little bit. Just not able to do all of it yet, but I just wanted to let y'all know that. And here is just a glimpse of how I got the fence unrolled, mostly by myself until Teresa was off on the weekend. That's kind of how I did it. I picked up the idea from YouTube. It needs a lot of improvements, so I'm not recommending copying me just yet. But definitely need to cut like the board closer in on the fence because it snags. And for some reason, the chain I was using kept tangling up on the inside of the fence, so I lost about 2 or 3 foot of fence by the time I was done. But this does make it a lot easier when you're trying to unroll that heavy roll of fence, especially for somebody that is just recovering from a heart surgery. Yeah, you can't be toting that stuff, but tractor makes light work of it. But yeah, just wanted to show you all this real quick before we go back to the tour. There you go. We're back outside now. Figure I'll just walk you around and give you a little bit of our vision. And it's still evolving as we're falling in love with sheep. So we're probably gonna wind up with a little more pasture than this because I think we're gonna need it. We're only wanting a small herd with a, flock herd. I'm not sure the terminology yet, but 6 ewes and 1 ram is probably what we're looking for, maybe 2 rams. And actually, straight across the way here, we've got a burn pile, but ignore that, it's going to be gone. But that little strip of forested area down to the barn, I actually would like to keep our ram and maybe my Billy from my goats, and they'll be each other's buddy, and maybe we'll have a wether or 2 in there with them, just so that when we're breeding, somebody's always got company in there. But that'll be to separate them, do a 20 or 30 foot step out from our fence, and it'll include all that shrubbery that they can munch on and clean up, and they'll have all of that overstory to help keep them straight. And I think that's going to be our ultimate plan. Our main garden's right there. I may eventually move it, but not sure what we're going to do yet as far as that goes. But right here, got my old partner in crime, Abby. Old girl, old white face. But right here, I had already started working on something. It wasn't quite in line with the fence how it was going to run because I was just eyeballing everything. But I want at every post, except for the one with the solar down there, of course, I want some sort of fruit or nut tree to grow up and be shade over these corners. And then we're going to do bushes and dwarf fruit trees all the way down. And hidden in here, I've actually got a yapon holly that'll eventually be a tall bush or a short tree. That'll be right beside the fruit tree to kind of fill this gap, and then I could probably put like some raspberries or blueberries or something right there. But we'll work our way down, and you can see I've got my elderberries right there, which I actually had an amazing harvest from this year. And I think this little cluster will continue to grow and do good. We'll eventually mulch and do away with any grass on this side of the fence to give it a neater look and help establish some better growth in here and some fertilization. Got another yapon there. Yapon holly right here at this post. I actually should be right around. Yep, I'm gonna have to protect it because the original electric fence stopped right here, so we added a couple feet. But that is a wild willow tree, and I'm going to probably protect it and let it grow up, or I'm going to dig it up and transplant it before the sheep get into this paddock here so they don't kill it. I'd like that willow to grow up and be some shade right there for them as well. But we'll have all kinds of, like I said, fruit trees and berries and everything growing in here. I got a little bit of sumac. And people tend to either not know what sumac is, get confused about it, or just don't understand why I'm growing it. But when sumac's healthy, it'll grow these berries that make a really high vitamin C lemonade drink. And I'm looking forward to that. And actually, I've got this here is yarrow plant. Actually, the birds planted this, but it makes a medicinal tea. It's supposedly real good to drink. I haven't tried it yet, but it's self-seeding, regrows itself, so I don't have to do anything. So I'll probably frame it with some small berry bushes, and we'll go from there. And over here, I've got another Yapon holly growing here with actually a pecan tree coming out from underneath it. Once that pecan tree is a little bigger, I'm probably going to try my hand at grafting it and going ahead and putting some sort of productive variety on there. And the fence on this end, we're contemplating using this space right here as a long paddock and run the sheep in it as well. Down there at that end and right here at this end, we are going to go ahead and install gates eventually, you know, as money provides. Military's running some training. Blackhawks today. Flying overhead all morning. That's what happens when you live right down the road from the largest helicopter training base that the military's got. Right here is the other end of that pole. Like I said, we're going to need to go straight down there with another set of fence, which we got. We got just enough to complete that. Me and Teresa, who's helped me the most with this fence, probably knock that out this coming up weekend. That'll be pretty easy. A couple hours work at the most. I've kind of smashed down a lot of this grass with the tractor, running the fence and digging these holes, but it'll spring back up pretty good by the time we get the animals in it. That last water hole. We got these Chinese tallow trees coming up from roots and seeds. I'm gonna have to top them down so that the animals can just keep them from springing up good. And we got this side here, again, fruit tree, and then gonna do a little run all the way down like a little flower bed, but of edibles and herbs and all of that, kind of make the fence look a lot better. I eventually am going to do it over here with the goats as well, but I'm not 100% certain if we're not going to move it out some more. So we're not committing there. I know the goats will keep it trimmed over that way. But we're hoping that we can get into a more heavy rotation with these animals. There's poor Sydney over here. And we got her from an unscrupulous breeder who pawned off his problems on us, and she has barber pole worms in her stomach. We're treating her for it now. We'd prefer to not have to deal with any of that, but we made a commitment to make her a better life, so that's what we're doing. We got Sandy there, little Sydney there. Hopefully they're both pregnant, but if not, it is what it is. We'll survive and grow the flock next year once we have them healthy. When we get them out of this paddock, we're going to go ahead and probably give it a couple weeks to spring up some fresh grass, recovery from their heavy grazing here, and then we'll move the male pigs in here. The girls will go in there for a short period. We're just hoping that we'll be able to contain the barber pole in these two paddocks here, and once we're certain that they're clean, then we're coming over here into these two paddocks, and we'll rotate the girls in these two paddocks while the pigs handle this, because the barber poles will die out and that'll kill the pest cycle or parasite cycle with those pigs, because the barber poles can't survive inside of their digestive system. But just like I said, showing you what we've been up to. I've got a little bit of footage of unrolling the fence and trying to get that going, and a little bit of footage of us digging. Not a whole lot. It's kind of hard to remember. Hey, grab the camera, film some when you're out here working. And my concentration ain't been the best since the surgery anyway, so we'll get there though. But appreciate y'all sticking by me and staying with us, and the prayers and all the well wishes. Getting better. I start my cardiac rehab next week, and we'll see how long that lasts. I think out here in our Creator's beauty is probably the best rehab for me, but we'll try it out, see where we stand with everything. Wado for watching.